Hello, in this video is addressed to my twin flame Shia. Hi Shia. For all of us watching, I thank you for watching. This is going to be some crime against me and my twin flame Shia. However, because of yesterday's video, Shia, I'm going to talk about less crime in this video. I have a cup of green tea here. I've actually only been really up. Well, I've been up since 8 a.m. But then I watched natural wilderness fires for like 4 hours and listened to spiritual Zen frequencies, rakyas, and I did some more crime report research, but I'm going to show you these at another video because it's complicated. The way I took photographs of all the different places where I lived, and basically in the Muskoma Lake house there's missing pictures. There's no pictures of the attic I was living in because it's not a bedroom. And remember that little sublet I was renting in Berkeley, California? And there it was like the room was not even half the size. It wasn't even it's not even listed as a bedroom. It's an office, and they fit a twin size bed with had like a 1/4 inch thick plastic covering over it. So I had to pretty much sleep on the ground, and sometimes I would sleep on the mattress with my blankets over it. It was not like you weren't even capable of putting sheets over it. The plastic was so thick, and I wasn't allowed to like buy an air mattress, take the mattress off. There was absolutely no room. So I hope that she gets trouble with that. So I took photographs of all the different houses I lived in, and the Muskoma Lake where I was living in the attic was unlivable conditions. The Berkeley sublet was unlivable conditions. So I took a picture of the Goffstown apartment complex when I was 1 year old to around, I don't know, five, 6. And then the Goffstown, Massachusetts, we rented a house with my dad and my mom and my brother at Mast Road. And then the Auburn, New Hampshire, when my parents split up, then I had to move into the criminals, my dead ex-stepfather's house. I took photographs of the driveway. I used Google View Maps. Took photographs of the room. I'm not going to show you everything because I want to take notes so that I can explain each place. Then I didn't take photographs of all of the places with like inside, but I took like at least the sign of where I lived. Granite Hill and Hooksett. The Lafayette Road apartment where when my mom and dad ex-father split up, me and my mom and brother went and moved into this 3-bedroom apartment in the west side of Manchester, which is a bad side of town, and it was a really crappy, shitty apartment. And then after that we moved on Maplehurst Avenue. It was actually nice. She rented this really big house, but then we ended up having to get roommates, which wasn't completely a problem. people that were subletting the rooms. And then me and my mom and brother moved to Muskoma Lake, and the brick house that she was renting that was full of mold, and it's listed as a 2-bedroom, and the room that I was in was not a room, and my dad could have built a door, because there was a kitchen with like a little sunroom where I could have made a room out of. They could have built a door, put something there, but the whole thing was I needed a closed door, but they didn't offer me to be able to sleep in the sunroom, and I wasn't allowed. And then I moved for like 5 months in a little apartment of my own, unfurnished. And then before that whole time, after I had to leave the sublet in Berkeley, I was going to try to make it in New York City, and I was going back to school, so I had extra money from a school check that you get when you are using financial aid. So I was living off of the financial aid, and I rented a room in Astoria, Queens, and got immediately after a month, the lady couldn't stand me and asked for my credit, and these all should have happened before it was all a whole stress. It was all rigged to stress me out. So then I moved to Jersey City for a few months and was commuting 3 hours a day for a stupid part-time job and going to school, online courses, and then I had to quit online courses. That was like an extreme. I'm a failure. And then I ended up, my mom came out to pick all my stuff, belongings up, and drive me back to where she was living. That happened in 2014. So then I lived with my mom again, and then lived at the then lived with my mom, then got that expensive apartment unfurnished for about 5 or 6 months, had to leave, went to California to live in my car, came back, was dragged back to New Hampshire by my mom. Then I drove down to stay with my dad for a couple weeks. Obviously wasn't capable of living there. And then went and work traded, lived and worked as the kitchen manager at the Buddhist Society in West Virginia for like a half a year. Everything's like a half a year. They're all contracts. And then that was becoming unbearable. So then I was giving a stipend though. So then I moved. Then I went back out to Mount Shasta to live in my car again. And then that's when all of that, the worst things that could possibly happen to me happened. So I'll show you that in a little bit. I'll show you that tomorrow because I'm too tired today. So now I'm gonna I'm not gonna share everything I wrote down. I think I'm gonna call the Epson printer because basically this is what I can do. I can have them ship me the box so if I could buy my own shipping materials and send it to them, but there's no guarantee. But I don't want to really do that. So they're going to send me the shipping materials, and then they'll place the $170 and I spend it on hold. And then once I get the shipping materials, I'll send the printer to them. They'll send me a new one. And I will track the package every single day and go down to security and say, you have to look out for my printer. This cannot be stolen. And also, I will make sure if that were to happen, there's security cameras in the lobby. I could also, if it does get stolen from AI, and because they don't check the IDs, I'll ask them to look at the cameras. So that I'm potentially going to do that because August is the last month where I can get the new printer, and they really can't, if a package gets lost, they can't charge me if the post office loses the package. So it would only be if the package got stolen. So I'm potentially going to do that, because the chances, no matter what, this printer is broken and is unusable unless I return it. And even if it gets stolen, if I have them send me the shipping box materials and send this back first, I will at least not have to pay. I didn't explain this well. I won't have to pay the $170 because they'll have this. Because if they don't put that money on hold on my bank card, on my debit card, and they send me the shipping materials, they send me the new printer first, and this old printer doesn't get to them, then I will be charged $170. So I was able to rest down this morning for about 3 hours to watch 4 hours to watch the fire videos, because when we watch the fire, Shia, it clears the energy. It's like energy clearing, and there's more to it than that as well. And in regards to my body, my body's been mutilated. I haven't actually looked that good for a good 10 years now. The criminals were making my arms really fat with witchcraft so that I'd cover up the upper part of my body and be embarrassed. So my arms started getting unproportioned back in like 2013, 2012, or 2012, 2013. And so it's not all the stroke. These arms, there's something wrong obviously with the paralysis, but these arms were starting to get fat like 10 or 12 years ago. And it was to make me feel ugly. So in regards to my body, I look really, really awful. Worse than I've ever in my entire life. Oh, it's starting to get hot. Hold on. Oh, well, my body's been really ugly for many, many, many years. And the criminals say that your arms are skinny, Shia, and my arms are so fat, so like they try to humiliate me. Well, the thing is, your arms are perfectly proportioned to your body. I love your arms, Shia. I wouldn't want you to have bigger arms. Obviously, my body's been mutilated, and so it's going to take a while. They've done so much witchcraft to put direct all the fat to my arms, and I still have an extreme infection from the food poisoning. I could show you I'm still bloated. That's not supposed to look like that. So my body is not how it's supposed to look. I don't think it's permanent. However, I can't just drastically lose weight because of my brain injury and all of my health issues. I can't just reduce my diet, and I have trouble with exercise. I was walking a couple hours on the bayfront and came up and rushed up the stairs, and that's when the stroke occurred. So heavy exercise is not possible for me. And that wasn't my first stroke. That was my first lethal, extreme stroke. So in working out at Planet Fitness for those 9 days, Shia, they were messing around with my pinky toe, so I couldn't walk on the treadmill. So I was forced to ride on the bicycle at Planet Fitness, and they kept saying, "You're lazy. Everyone's going to find out if you only do 30 minutes and go take a shower. Everyone's going to know you're using the gym, not to work out." So I did an hour a day on the bike, and that was too much, but it was the possession that was forcing me, and they were trying to give me another stroke. And the resistance, I was feeling the nerves in my brain, sensitive and pain in my brain from the excessive bicycling at Planet Fitness. It was irritating my brain. So working out is a problem. Now that it's summertime, I can't just walk indoors all day long. However, this body and weight and shape has been going on for a long time. It hasn't just been this past couple of months. And even if I do end up losing weight, I always gain it back very quickly and so these people are like, well, look around you. Everyone has something. Everyone's looking bad right now. Everyone has something. Stop feeling bad for yourself. And the criminals are saying that everyone has something that they don't like about themselves. This is unnatural. I'm not supposed to look like this. So, but the telepathic supporters responded, everything has something. I'm not going to hell. I'm not going to hell. These criminals are going to have deformed bodies in hell. Me and you, Shai, are going to have perfect bodies in paradise. So no, not everybody has something. I don't have the going to hell something with deformed body for the rest of my life until I don't exist. I don't have that problem. Yeah, so when I was at Planet Fitness, there was you can't just 30 minutes on the bike. And the employees are going to look down on you. You're going to feel ashamed of yourself because they're going to know that you're just using the shower, blah, 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 blah. But there's a lot of demonic things happening to my body. And this arm fat's been going on for 10 to 12 years. And I never had a problem with my arms my entire life. So there's more to it with my arms and my body. However, I'm not going to talk about it completely. but they're to make me feel very ugly and to hide my upper body. And also it was to try to give me heat stroke. You don't see me ever wearing tank tops in these videos because I'm too embarrassed about my arms and my upper body. So in regards to Shia, in regards to choking, don't eat popcorn. If they make you eat popcorn wicked fast, they're trying to choke you. 4 to 5,000 people die per year of choking in America. That's every 40 minutes someone's dying of choking. So watch with the choking, because if you and watch with the certain foods, like with peanut butter. If things stick to your throat, peanut butter is not good. It can stick into your throat and choke you. And I'm going to start drinking a glass of water every time now with food. I'm going to stop eating popcorn because they make me eat it so quickly. Now I know it's because they're trying to make me choke to death. And always chew properly. That's another thing. They make me swallow large chunks of food and push it down my throat before I chew it enough. So be careful, Shia, with the way you're eating. And in regards to fire, 2,000 to 3,000 people die in fire per year. I took photographs of the stove. I think they actually changed the wood stove. I'm not sure though. It looks like a different wood stove. Because remember, I was getting smoked out from the fire stove in that house. Many times. At all hours of the day and morning. So every 3 hours someone's dying of a house fire. So we have to be very careful. And I think we're going to want to invest in a small storage space because we can't afford to have some of our things destroyed in a fire. And because of our situation, it's very possible that someone would do that to us if they had the chance. And it's been a threat. It's been an ongoing threat this past 6 to 12 months, but that's going to happen. But they're going to be accused of destroying evidence because I have a lot of crime report notebooks and a lot of evidence. So, in regards to and also criminal this morning was flashing images of my brain scans saying you're not going to live much longer, because of my brain injury, my stroke. So I might not have body paralysis, but I have brain paralysis. I do have body paralysis, but I can move. However, it's a lie that it takes being in a wheelchair and not being able to move your body to be paralyzed. But I do have I have brain paralysis. And I do have paralysis in my back and my arms. I do in my shoulders. I do have a stiffness and in my entire left side of my body. I do have paralysis. So when I went to Oregon, Shia, and I have bank statements to prove when I was in Oregon on a road trip to visit the vortexes. I went to Mount Hood. I went to that gold vortex thing, Crater Lake. There was fires going on the entire time, and I was being led to the fires. And obviously, I wanted to visit the different vortexes However, I was repeatedly being driven. I was repeatedly driving through very dangerous areas. You know, I told you I was not allowed to look at the weather. I was not allowed to look at the weather because they were constantly trying to get me into natural disasters, blizzards, heat strokes. I was never allowed to know about heat strokes. I was never allowed to know that the car heats up double than what's outside. I was, in regards to the fires, I was repeatedly having to turn around in Oregon and other places in California, and other places where I visited. I was repeatedly having to turn around because there was a plastic piece of tape covering the road saying this road is closed because of the forest fires. I literally took photographs, and I highly doubt they would still be on my cell phone. I was literally driving and seeing the actual huge explosion of smoke and fire, driving away from it and taking photographs, driving on the side of it. That's how close I was to fires. I would be driving and I'd have to close the windows. It would be so foggy I could barely drive from the ash and smoke. So they were leading me to forest fires, and I have bank statements with gas where I had to get gas, which will say where I was at the time where these fires were going off. This is not just so Alyssa repeatedly turned around closed roads in Oregon and other places in California where there were fires, and I'm not recalling them right now at this moment. There were ashes in the air. The smoke was so intolerable, I was getting extreme irritability. And the fact that I was looking up naturescapes and I saw fire, and I said, I want to look at fire. And I just happened to be on YouTube and seeing a little YouTube clip of 7 hours ago, 30,000 evacuated. I wouldn't even know about the Northern California fires until last night, and I wouldn't have ever found out if I didn't look up the fire videos last night. So keeping people uneducated about the surrounding environment and news is extremely bad, and I had some problems with the floods, being out on the roads in the floods recently that I have to remember about because I didn't look at the news. Because I have to avoid the hackers' harassment advertisements, and you saw proof on the weather app of why I don't look at the weather. So I was literally driving away and visibly seeing blazing fires, huge clouds of smoke in many, many different areas. I was driving in the pitch dark towards Crater Lake, and all of a sudden it was in smoke smell, and they had plastic tape covering the road. Turn around. You can't go to Crater Lake. It's on fire. I had no clue the Crater Lake was on fire at that time. So Alyssa, I took photos, if I still have them, on past phones of all the smoke and the blazing fires that I was literally driving away from in a panic, in an extreme panic. And I'm going to add to my sheet wildfire footage using 4K drones of wildfire footage. It's extremely healing to watch wildfire footage. I'm gonna have to add to sheet because I was too tired to add to the sheet. Wildfire footage to all of the healing things I'm doing. So near Mount Hood, this is another thing that happened in Oregon. The hacker changed my Google Maps directions to make me drive up a mountain. And I was looking at the maps thinking, oh, I was going to drive. In order to get to Mount Hood, I had to drive up through a mountain and down a mountain to get to the other mountain. This mountain, I was low on gas in the middle of nowhere, driving to Mount Hood, and I was on another mountain, and Google Maps led me up a mountain that was turning into an unpaved road, and they were still trying to get me to go up on the unpaved road. I could have easily gotten stuck up there without any gas, popped tire easily. I ended up turning around and figured out this was not the way to get to Mount Hood. So before I found Mount Hood, which was a vortex mountain, near Mount Hood, Google Maps led me up a different mountain that turned into a little trail. It turned into a unpaved road that would barely fit a car. And I was continuing to look at Google Maps, and it was all of this. It was supposed to lead me to Mount Hood, going through this mountain, down the mountain to the other mountain, and that's not what. There was no tar. It was very bumpy. The hacker made me get lost on that mountain in order to trap me up there with no help. I could have had car trouble. I could have ran out of gas. I could have popped a tire. All kinds of things could have happened. I was in the middle of nowhere, running out of gas. The mountain that I was on was supposed to lead me to the next mountain. That's what I was thinking. That's what Google Maps was trying to show me. I felt very, very unsafe. I was being extremely tortured. I was basically being led to my death. And there was many, many times where I was getting lost and going the wrong directions because the hacker was changing my Google Maps. There was many, many times the hacker would kick me off of Google Maps or turn my Wi-Fi off so that I would lose my directions. And trying to scramble onto Google Maps while driving is not the safest. I would constantly, repeatedly lose my cell phone. Oh, and on that mountain, on the way up, I lost all cell phone service. So obviously I had to turn around at that point. Because I lost cell phone service, it was getting more dangerous. Luckily I turned around before I got more lost. So this also happened with blizzards. I would be stuck on the highway in blizzards and almost in trouble in Northern America, Northern California. I would purposely be stuck in blizzards because I wasn't allowed to check the weather. Very dangerous blizzards on the highway, where I'd be stuck for hours with no gas. And Shia, I checked the pendulum at 8:44, and it says you're thinking that about faith. You're thinking that you're thinking about you have faith that we'll be together soon, Shia, and that you love me. I love you, Shia. And I watched your video on loop for a few hours today. And you're not being heard, Shia. You're not being heard. And you think about that a lot, Shia, and I think about it a lot. So I have to keep talking about the fire. Okay, so that's everything about the fire. Oh, it's going to be proved, Shia, that I was purposely being led to natural disasters, fires, blizzards, floods, and I wasn't allowed to look at the weather. It's going to be proved. The smoke was extremely irritating to my lungs. And this was in order to attempt to kill me, Shia. And this Oregon trip was planned. it was my plan to go on a road trip and visit the Oregon vortexes. It was their plan to interfere and lead me to wildfires, and try to kill me in the smoke. I would visibly see the ash in the air. I was extremely scared because I had no clue where the fires were, and I was constantly getting kicked off of the internet, losing Wi-Fi service. Oregon is like, you can lose Wi-Fi service in Oregon a lot, apparently. So Cheyenne, that's all I have to say in this video. So I'm going to make this video like 40 minutes, talk about you now. I have a splitting headache. Actually, I have to put on the fan over here. Hold on. I have to worry about heat stroke, Shia, because I have a problem with the heat in here. It's 82 degrees. That's 82 degrees, so that's to heat stroke. 82 and up is caution heat stroke. And I have to start not wearing sneakers to cool off my feet. That's another problem. I always have the habit of putting on my sneakers. I have to slow down on the food research and all of the reading and writing. I think it's becoming too much for my brain. And probably just watch more vortex nature videos for a little while to try to rest. However, I did do Lumerian technology today, like an hour or two. So this is about Shia. Do I have anything to show you? I took some photos of all the addresses, and what I should really do is start photographing all the important emails that I wasn't able to print out, so that if they happen to get deleted on the internet, I have proof that the email exists. That's what I probably have to do. But like I said, it's really a shame too that some of my email accounts got deleted because I didn't log in after 10 years. The one from when I lived in Auburn. Do I have anything recent? No. No, these are all the... So... I apologize for not talking about you enough, Shia. However, I think about you all day long, Shia. And... it's partly because I don't want to get us in trouble. It's partly possession. But I know that you're feeling abandoned, Shia, but I'm feeling abandoned too. I'm feeling very abandoned too, Shia. It's been very, very painful, and it's been a lot of torture to not be able to see you and hear you. And I know I'm going to get shocked. I know that you probably look way more sick than I think you do. You're in intolerable pain, Shia. So Shia, just try to rest, because a lot of the videos are very stressful too. I know that it's probably making you a little sick, and I told you that I get really attacked when I have to show you all of this crime. We're being treated like animals, Shia. It has to stop. However, I don't always feel awful, and I definitely felt better, Shia, afterwards, knowing that you know what happens to me and all the things all the crime that's happening to me. So I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, Shia. So just try to rest, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you, Shia. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much, Shia, for watching.